Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Torres, and today I'm here to give my introduction speech, which I've titled Started from the Bottom. The reason I chose this title is because I think it accurately describes my journey throughout life to the present day, I guess you could say, because 5 years ago, my life was at the bottom, and I think slowly but surely I finally reached a level of success that I'm comfortable with. I'm not saying I want to settle here, but I'm comfortable with the level of success that I've attained. In this speech, I'm going to talk about my favorite motivational quote and why it is my favorite motivational quote. I'm going to talk about myself a little bit. I'm going to talk about my future goals and plans. And finally, I'm going to conclude with a positive message. Now that we've covered the basics, let's go ahead and get into it. My favorite motivational quote was by Michael Jordan. Now, if you want to bear with me for a little bit, it's a lengthy quote, so I just want to grab this to make sure I get the quote correct. The quote is, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I've failed over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." I think this is an important quote because it shows that everyone fails. This is Michael Jordan, widely considered to be the greatest basketball player of all time, as well as a business owner and just an overall successful businessman and person. So if Michael Jordan has admitted countless failures, it shows that everyone fails, but the difference between Michael Jordan and others is he kept working at it, he kept working hard, and ultimately he became one of the greatest basketball players of all time. So I think that motivates me to say that we're all going to fail. The important part is we all have to keep moving forward, we have to keep striving to become better, and we can someday attain a level of success that we are striving for as well. Now that I've talked about my favorite motivational quote, let's talk a little bit about myself. I'm 26 years old. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I've been in the military for about 5 years now, and I'm going to go ahead and talk about some of my strengths, my weaknesses, and a life-defining moment for me. Some of my strengths would be my open-mindedness, my ability to communicate with others, and then my striving for success always, I guess you could say. Whenever I try to do something, I always strive to be successful whenever I put my mind to it. Now, the open-mindedness and the communication, they kind of go hand in hand. I can pretty much relate to all types of people, and that allows me to communicate freely with pretty much any type of person. I'm able to get my point across, as well as I'm able to see other people's points of views. So that makes it easy for me to communicate and work with groups of people most of the time. My striving for success, I guess you could get that from me playing sports growing up. I've always enjoyed playing sports, and I think you get kind of that competitive winning mindset. So anytime I do something, I always strive to win. I always strive to be the best at it. So I think that's a strength for me. In terms of weaknesses, I guess it goes right along with striving for success. Sometimes I take my striving for success to the maximum, and it becomes over-competitiveness, which can be detrimental as well. Sometimes I want to win so bad that I don't always see the bigger picture, and it can affect people around me in a group environment. So over-competitiveness can definitely be one of my weaknesses. Another one of my weaknesses could be my emotions. Sometimes I feel strongly about a certain topic, and I let my emotions dictate my actions. If I feel so strongly about something, I'm going to act based on those emotions. So sometimes, even though I'm open-minded, sometimes if I feel angry about something, the outcome's not going to be what I would have normally thought if I was, level-headed. So that would be one of my weaknesses. A life-defining moment for me would be definitely when I joined the military about 5 years ago. It's a life-defining moment because just the way my life has changed for the better. I've taken classes, I've matured, I've met all different types of people from all walks of life they've all given me one thing or another. So I think for me that's a life-defining moment because whenever I go back home, I realized, hey, my life has changed significantly because of this moment. So that would be a life-defining moment for me. Now that I've talked about the present, I want to go ahead and move on to the future. What are my future plans? What are my goals? Of course, my future goal is to obviously get my degree because I'm taking this class. And then something I'd like to leave my mark on in society would be, I'm in the Air Force. I'd like to leave my mark in the Air Force working on programs for the future. Right now, I'm moving over to the F-35 program, which is the Air Force's newest fighter. And I would like to leave my mark on that program. Obviously, the F-35 is not combat ready, so I'm hoping by the time I leave the Air Force that it's going to be a fully operational, state-of-the-art jet, just like it's meant to be. And I'm hoping that my work in the beginning stages of that will contribute to that, I guess you could say. Finally, I'm going to conclude my speech with a positive message. If you can get anything out of my speech, it would be that, along with the Michael Jordan quote and just the story based on my journey, would be that if you keep moving forward, no matter what life throws at you, we can all gain some sort of level of success. Michael Jordan has failed. I have failed. 5 years ago, my life was in shambles, but the important part was that I kept moving forward. I kept, setting goals for myself. And then ultimately, I reached a decent amount of success, I would consider. So if there's anything to take from that speech, it's we all fail, but the important part is to get up, keep moving forward, and try our hardest to succeed. Thank you.